I'd like to acknowledge that the District of Tofino operates within the territory of the Tla-o-qui-aht First Nation, Tla-o-qui-aht First Nation, A notice to attendees that the meeting is being video recorded and will be published on the District of Tofino's YouTube channel. And through unanimous consent, if there are no objections, I'll move that pursuant to Section 15 of the District of Tofino Meeting Procedure Bylaw number 1229/2016 as amended, the January 10, 2023 regular meeting be held electronically via Zoom and live broadcasted on the District of Tofino's YouTube channel, and that the facility provided for the public to watch and hear the meeting be located at Municipal Hall 380 Campbell Street in Tofino, BC. Seeing no objection, that motion is carried. And also through unanimous consent, if there are no objections, I'll move that the January 10th, 2023 regular council agenda be adopted. Seeing no objection, that motion is carried. And the consent agenda, which is rather short. I will also move through unanimous consent, if there are no objections, that the minutes of the regular council meeting held December 13th, 2022 be adopted. Seeing no objection, that motion is carried. And then we're right on to public comment on agenda items. And we actually have somebody in the audience today. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, before we get started, I just want to make some clarity here. I need your name, your address, and the agenda item you're commenting on.
Agenda item 4.1, name Jarmo Venalainen, 230 Campbell Street.
Now, just a quick clarification before you get going on that, Jarmo. I don't usually do this, but that agenda item is the minutes of the regular council meeting.
Correct.
Okay, so now are you commenting on the minutes or commenting on an agenda item in the minutes? It's a bit of a difference.
Agenda item in the minutes which were approved.
Right. So I just want to look to staff for a bit of a note on here. I believe that what's this? You're nodding.
It's all right.
It's okay. You can comment on that. Okay, just wanted to make sure we weren't getting off track.
Good choice.
Good.
I had looked into that already.
Did you? Good. Okay, go ahead. You have 2 minutes.
My question is why is it in the public interest to enter into a ginormous contract with WSP in a closed session, which is what happened in the previous minute? There's a contract that was entered into, huge contract of the order of tens of millions of dollars, and it was done within a closed session. So why is that required, and why is that in the public interest?
So normally commenting, this section for comments is not a time for debate or discussion with council. Is that, so we're going to do this? Can we have a comment from staff?
Yeah, I can provide a little bit of clarification, and then maybe if we need some more, if you need more information, you can contact me after. But so section 90 of the community charter lists the reasons that a public meeting can be closed. And I believe there are 2 sections under section 90 that we closed the meeting to discuss the WSP contract under.
What was the specific reason?
Essentially, anytime a vendor presents a contract in its preliminary stages, the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act allows us to have those discussions in closed section to protecting proprietary information.
Was I incorrect?
Just a moment, please. Just a sec. I got to be clear here. Everybody speaks to the chair, so you let the staff member answer, and then you can talk through me.
Yeah, essentially that's one of the reasons why it was closed, and I can provide you with the further details. Yeah, if you need more clarification.
So was I incorrect that a contract was entered into? Is that a yes or no?
Yeah, I believe a contract was entered into, yes.
So my question is, I do understand bidding process, this and that and the other thing, but when a decision is made to spend $60 million, then my concern is that is done in a closed session. And I don't know if it falls under those categories of a closed session. I'll have to check.
Yes, CEO.
Bylaw, this is something we could provide more information to the resident about by email after the meeting. Often there is information provided that the contractor considers trade secrets, and we out of respect of that relationship, we actually cannot release that information to the public. And if an FOIA request were to come in, we would withhold that information. the decision to enter into the contract was released from the closed session, and that is available, or that is public information once the contract is entered into. So if there are additional questions from the resident, then staff can address those via email.
Super, thank you. Thank you for your questions.
All right, that's all I had. Thank you.
Super. All right, moving on to the mayor's report. Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody, and welcome back to the public. That was it's actually kind of nice to have the public here. First time in many years, I believe. Has it been? It is. So exciting start to having the public here. Couple notes. I'm welcoming us back, welcoming staff and council back, but I know that many people worked over the holidays, and I just wanted to take the time to thank all the staff members who worked over the holidays, and especially our emergency services providers. Chief Baker, I know that you were here, and Mr. Rogers and crew. And everybody else on staff who helped out, a tremendous effort. And I am so proud to be the mayor of a town with such an excellent emergency response team. It makes a huge difference to all of us. So thank you very, very much. I was able to meet with UVic geography students lately. That was wonderful. Wonderful to see well over 20 students visiting Tofino for a lengthy stay to study the Biosphere Reserve. So I'm glad that we can host, our town can host that level of education and interest in the environment. What else? 2023, I think honestly, this is the first meeting of 2023, and I think we're set up for success. We are far better resourced and staffed than we have been, thanks to our third-party review and excellent work by our administrators. We have excellent org structure, and look forward to seeing more staff come on board. And I think we're going to be much better and more effective at delivering on our community needs. We have a wastewater treatment plant. For years we've been talking about 2023, and here it is, it's going to come. Wonderful advancements on that front. We have the THC moving ahead on multiple fronts. And this year we'll see at least one apartment open again for residents. We know how much water we have, or almost have, I guess. We have a water report. That's going to be tremendously helpful. We have an excellent OCP. We have an excellent staff and council. We're going to be starting the year. We're going to be going into LGLA, learning and relearning about good governance. Then we'll be heading into strategic planning, which is going to be extremely important for the next 4 years. And I just sense optimism. We have excellent tools. We have excellent people to weld them. I think it's just going to be great. And I look forward to attending FCM coming up in February, Sustainable Communities Conference. It's going to be an excellent opportunity for me to meet and thank all of our federal partners, ministers and staff who have so generously invested in our region's future. And so I just look at the start of 2023 and I'm just hopeful and thankful. That's my mayor's report. We have no delegations, no correspondence. Well, we do actually, sorry, we have one correspondence. All right, flip the page. We have 9.1 Ardent properties regarding District of Tofino zoning amendment bylaw number 1286/2022. It's a bit of a technical letter. I'm going to look to council. I do have a recommendation that we could motion to refer this to staff. Since it does have to do with planning and parking and strap. Any comments from council? Good, yes.
My understanding is they're reducing the number of spaces that the buildings would be required to have. Sorry, should I address the question? Sorry.
You, that's all right. No, it's through the chair.
Okay.
Yeah, we could, I mean, we could look for a staff comment on this. Yeah, for sure. If staff would like to comment, or we could.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding there.
Sure.
Correctly.
And the idea of referring to staff would be to get a more full and careful comment for council to consider. But I will look to staff for a comment.
Thank you, Mayor Law. And through the chair, I have a couple comments, but I may lean on Mr. Rogers for a couple comments after I say a few things. I did reach out to staff after receiving the letter just to get a better understanding of this change and the change that Ardent is speaking to. So this was what's being requested in the letter is a zoning amendment specific to a particular strata property. Typically, council wouldn't make a specific zoning amendment for a particular parcel. That would typically come through a zoning amendment application. Council does have the ability to make a sort of larger zoning change and certainly has the ability to make this change if they wish to do so. But it's just not necessarily typical for a specific to the property. From our understanding, this parcel is largely developed. There's 4 parcels that are not developed yet, and these parking requirements would apply to those 4 properties, not the existing properties that are developed. But perhaps if I said anything incorrect, or if Mr. Rogers would like to add anything, we can. If not, we can leave it there. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you. Do we need a motion to refer to staff?
So the options for the letter writer would, and certainly it is up to council. If council wants to take a look at this as a council rather than seeing an application come in from the letter writer, then you could refer it to staff to either work with the applicant or work with the letter writer for an application, or council can direct staff to bring forward an amendment for council's consideration, but that would be done at a staffing level and not working with the property owner.
I mean, personally, I have a preference, so I'm happy to go with whatever staff would recommend, to be honest. So, council?
Agree.
Yeah, I agree. I do very much understand where they're coming from, having lived in that part of the town and knowing that it's not really a walkable distance into, like, it's 3.5 kilometers, which is a little bit far for groceries and that. So a lot of people there will have cars. But yeah, definitely a staff thing. Yeah. I don't think I have the knowledge to jump in on that.
Go ahead, Aaron.
And just to be clear, anybody in those parks could develop 8 parking spots if they wanted. It's at the minimum of there. So it would come down to the building of the property at the time. So it's not a restriction on how many they can build it.
Yes.
They can build more.
Well, then, yeah, didn't know there was an option, actually.
That complicates everything.
It complicates everything because I really don't. Yeah, so
My apologies, Your Worship. The staff can reach out to the app or to the letter writer to see if there is any interest to pursue a zoning amendment, and we can also provide some. Or we have worked with the letter writer quite a bit to articulate why those changes were made, and we can have those conversations again. If this were to come back to council, we can decide after having that conversation whether it'll come back through staff or it'll come back through the letter writer. So referring it to staff at this point would be absolutely fine.
okay. Well, I'm going to make the motion to refer this matter to staff for further review and to come back to council as appropriate.
I'll second that.
Second by Councillor Thomas. All in favor? None opposed, motion is carried. Thank you. All right, moving on to item 10, presentations and reports. We have a license of occupation for N-Corp Pacific. And verbal report from Mr. Rogers.
No report, actually.
Oh, no report. Pretty straight up. That's fine. This is simply for adding on
I can make
sort and go.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That the staff be authorized to enter into a license agreement for a 5-year term commencing on November 1st, 2022 with N-Corp Pacific Canada for the operation of an automated bottle depot at the location illustrated in Schedule A of the license agreement attached as Appendix 1 to the report titled License of Occupation N-Corp Pacific Canada dated January 10th, 2023.
Seconded by Councillor Anderson. Any further comments? All in favor? None opposed, motion is carried. No bylaws. Do we have business initiated by council members?
Save it up for the next one.
You're saving up for next one. I do, over the holidays, everybody got a letter or a note from our CAO about FCM. And I've gone ahead and made arrangements or had arrangements made to go to FCM to represent Tofino and at the Sustainable Communities Conference. It's probably best to have a council motion on that. So I would request official council motion recommending that I go to FCM Sustainable Communities Conference.
I'll make that motion.
Please.
As he's stated, or would you like me to say it out loud, or did you get that? Thank you. Motion made.
Second by Councillor Thomas. Any comments from council? Yes, Mr. Anderson.
Where is it this year?
It's in Ottawa.
Okay.
So I will have our MP able to tour me around and to introduce me to many of the key players. So it's going to be exciting. Any further comments? Seeing none. All in favor? None opposed, motion is carried. Thank you. Unfinished business question period. Well, is anybody signed up, Ms. Larson?
Thank you, Mayor Law. Currently, there isn't anyone signed up for question period, but we do have quite a few attendees that have joined us remotely via Zoom. So at this time, anyone that is in attendance, if you'd like to ask a question about any item on the agenda, you can just use the Q&A function and you enter your name, your address, and then which agenda item you'd like to speak to. So I will call once, calling twice, calling 3 times, and we've had no submissions.
Thank you. Then we will move on to the closed session. So I recommend that the meeting be closed to the public pursuant to sections 90 parentheses 1 of the Community Charter to discuss matters relating to A, personal information about an identifiable individual who holds or is being considered for a position as an officer, employee, or agent of the municipality or another position appointed by the municipality. C, labor relations or other employee relations. F, law enforcement if the council considers that disclosure could reasonably be expected to harm the conduct of an investigation under or enforcement of an enactment. L, discussions with municipal officers and employees respecting municipal objectives, measures, and progress reports for the purpose of preparing an annual report under section 98, annual municipal report, and M, a matter that under another enactment is such that the public may be excluded from the meeting. Have a seconder. Okay, second by Councillor Thomas. The comments, all in favor? None opposed, motion is carried. We are moving into the closed session. So we'll give it a sec.